Oh my god.
So welcome everyone to a video I really didn't want to be making, and if I'm honest, I didn't think I'd ever really have to make, but you probably read the title, and yeah, the 140 is gone. Yeah, I'm going to try and keep this uncut as much as possible, but I'm not feeling as sad as I was about a month and a half ago when it happened. Yeah, it's literally been a month and a half already, which is pretty mental. But anyway, I'm going to try my best to remember what happened, and I'm going to explain to you. I've got a few like bullet points and stuff on my screen there, so I've also got those images and stuff on screen as well, so you can have a look at those. But yeah, let's just start from the beginning. So this video has been kindly sponsored by Cloudburst. Now if you don't know who Cloudburst are, they are the high pressure odour eliminator company that are based off popular fragrances such as 1 Million, Dior Sauvage and Creed. Now these are the bottles they come in, and as you can see down here, they can be used on vehicles, clothing, footwear, home, office and all sorts. Now you don't really need to use much at all. I learned this the hard way. The first one I used an awful lot and it didn't last for long. But if you use just a little bit, it does last really long. So I put this out with all my car stuff and give the car a quick squirt at the end. Also, yes, that does say how long it is until Christmas, don't ask. But yeah, now you can buy them in a bundle of 3, which is actually cheaper than buying them individually, and also if you use code BB10 you get another 10% off as well. Now if you're a long subscriber of the channel, you know that I've used these guys for an awful long time, and they always hook me up with the with some new ones, and I do believe they last told me they are going to work on some more very shortly, but watch out for them. But yeah, once again, a massive shout out to Cloudburst for sponsoring today's video. I really do appreciate it, and they've been such a good supporter of the channel. Probably one of the best I've ever had on the channel. These guys really do help the channel come along, so make sure you go thank them by supporting them and buying their products. And also tag me on Instagram when you buy them and I'll repost them, you know, I'll drop you a message and stuff like that. But anyway, back to the video. So, as I said, about a month and a half ago, around the 20th of August, I was at my partner's at the time. She was my partner at the time. We're not anymore. So that's another thing I've been dealing with. So yeah, nightmare. But anyway, life moves on. So I was at my partner's house, and it was around, I think I put on my notes, around 12:30 at night, and I was just jumping into bed. I took my clothes off. I think I just touched the bed, and all of a sudden I heard this massive bang. Like I've never heard a bang like it. It was so scary, and even now, like, gives you goosebumps. Like, when I think about it, it's like, whoa, it makes my eyes water and gives you goosebumps, and it has just then. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird, in my head, it was just, at the time, it was one of those moments where, you know, you can't, until it's happened to you, it's a bit of a strange one. But anyway, I heard this massive bang. Now, the window was open in the room, so all you could, you know, you can imagine how loud that was. Bear in mind, the road was just outside the window was wide open, and it was a quiet night. You know, there was nothing but, you know, you couldn't hear anything outside. All of a sudden, there was no brake, there's no like squealing from brakes and tyres. It just went bang straight into my car. I still remember to this day my partner's face. She went over to the curtains, she just rushed over to the curtains, opened up the curtains and was like, "Your car, someone's hit your car." And honestly, I was like, oh, like, this is gonna be bad. And all I could hear was like the engine of a car, like, trying to get away. You know, you instantly think the worst. You're like, yeah, they're gonna do a hit and run, you know, they're gonna leg it. I literally shouted, "What's the registration plate?" just in case, you know, they drove off. But it turns out that my partner's dad has got CCTV and stuff like that anyway, so we would have probably been able to get it, but it was, you know, it was just kind of thinking the best what to do at a certain situation. So yeah, I was like, "What's the registration plate?" Sort of memorised it. I opened up the curtains, and all I see was this. This is the image that my partner took, literally as soon as it happened. That's why it's a bit shaky. And all I saw was this car facing the opposite way, like, I forget what they call it, but yeah, not the right way, into my car. I was like, what? Anyway, my partner started screaming. This is all of this now is within sort of 20 seconds or so. It happened so quick. My partner started screaming. Her parents were literally legging it outside because they thought it might have been a hit and run as well. And by the time I got my stuff on really quick and went outside, her mum was already out there, which was good. And by the time she got out there, the person wasn't even out the car. I then rushed down the stairs. Obviously, I was like, what is going on? And I remember walking out, and this is the video that I filmed as soon as I got my phone out and I just started filming. This is the video that I filmed.
Oh my god.
So yeah, as you can tell, the panic, I was literally panicking because I didn't know what, I've never had a crash like this ever. I've never had a crash and like, I've never hit something. Someone's only ever hit me, or an animal's only ever hit me, and it's never gone in through insurance. So yeah, it was a bit of a scary time. And I remember being pretty angry, if I remember rightly. I remember I said, how the f have you done this? I said, how have you done this? You must have been going some speed, is what I said. But at the time, obviously she could have been hurt and stuff like that, but she did get out of the car. She seemed a bit panicked, but she was more worried about her dogs and cats, you know, than even saying what happened or anything like that. She seemed so focused on those, and the cat actually legged it. The cat did one and kind of legged it off, but her dogs were, you know, were okay. I'll get back onto the cat and everything after. But you know, I do agree, you know, she cares about her pets and that. But I'll explain a little bit later why I was a little bit annoyed at the time, but we'll get to that in a moment. But anyway, yeah, so I was like pretty annoyed, and then I was sort of thinking, what is going on? So I got out my phone, took photos quickly, you know, and then, you know, and I got some videos and stuff like that, especially, you know, to back myself up, and also for YouTube as well, because I thought, you know, I'm sure I want to do a video on it, and I want to let you guys know kind of what happened with the car. The police were called, and then they blocked the road. The first thing that was mentioned at the scene of the crash was those dogs and those cats, well, the two dogs and the cat weren't tied down, which I asked the police officer, and they said, yep, that is illegal. So I was like, right, okay, I've got that, you know, I've got something to back me up. And also, I got a video of a street light right above the kind of the accident to show that it was lit. I'll put that in now. Lit road, street light right there, look. And also, it was a dry evening with no cars on the road, and it was a type of road where you could possibly fit 3 cars snug, very slowly next to each other. Like, you could fit 3 cars, if that makes sense. Only just, but she had plenty of room to go around, and also it was a part of the road that was straight. So she must have not been looking. Apparently there was a packet of crisps on the passenger seat open, so might have been distracted by that. I asked the lady kind of where was she going at 12:30 at night. You know, 12:30 at night with a cat and 2 dogs in the car, and she said she was on the way up to her boyfriend's up country, quite a long way away, if I remember, like Gloucestershire or something like that. And she had just come literally about a mile away, so she hadn't made it far. So she's obviously, you know, the dogs aren't settled or the cat isn't settled or whatever. I think personally she was either looking back, or she was eating, or the dogs or anything like that were distracted, moving around in her car. That's kind of what I think anyway. But as I said, we got no evidence as such. But yeah, you can imagine why at the time I was a bit annoyed, because literally what was going through my head was like, I tried so hard to make people happy. I almost tried to be too nice with certain people, and it's kind of hit in the back a bit. So I'm trying to learn not to do that, but I tend to be so nice with people, and then they just take me for granted. And also, I just feel like I was trying so well, and I was really trying to push the YouTube thing, doing YouTube videos. You know, I'm always trying to do the best for people, and something just goes wrong. Either a badger, a fox, a pigeon. Now someone just smashed into my car, and like, I was just about to put some new brakes on it and all this kind of thing. Like, I was just so excited, and as you know, I absolutely love that car. So it was like losing a bloody person. Like, you know, us car people do really like our cars, so, you know, I was pretty upset. There's loads more to talk about, and I'm not really doing it in all the correct order either, because it was like a month and a half ago. I've kind of forgot a lot of things, but I must just add, without the people around me at the time, I probably wouldn't have done it, or probably wouldn't be sorted as well as I am now. Like, her parents were phenomenal. Her dad was really kind of educated and knew exactly kind of what to do, what to say, you know, that kind of thing, and was just what to do, if that makes sense. Just educated on the whole thing. He was asked me to ask questions to police, all sorts. And her mum was really supportive as well. And also a couple of my mates actually turned up with like trim tools and, like, you know, helped me get some of the stuff off the car, because I didn't want to let them take away the carbon, because that was like 500 quid worth of carbon. So I was like, if I don't see this car again, I want this stuff to sell, if you know what I mean. So yeah, they came down. They were there. We were there for about 3 hours, and they stayed the whole time. And, you know, they were proper supportive, which, you know, now I look back, I really do appreciate that. But yeah. So once the police have kind of done their investigation kind of thing, well, they've kind of got the details of their insurance and my insurance and all sorts, We then called in recovery. So I must just also add that my car was actually parked in front of a Seat Ibiza as well. So there was another car parked behind me, probably about a metre away really. Now if you have a look at this photo here, this is just before before she smacked into the car. And this here is exactly what it was after. So you can see how far my car got pushed, pushed down the road. And bear in mind, my car was in park and the handbrake up, so that gearbox isn't going to be very happy. I'm rambling, I'm going to try and make this as small as possible, but there's a lot of information. So, the police, as I said, called in recovery and they took the vehicle away. They had to sweep up the floor and stuff like that, and then we then went to sleep. I'm not going to lie, I did actually have a little cry. I had a little weep, I teared up a little bit basically in bed, because I was like, everything just got to me, like the bang in my head, just thinking about it just gave me the shivers and all sorts. It was a horrible time. The next morning, I actually had my COVID jab. So we went and had my COVID jab. Luckily my partner could take me to that, so that was good. And then after my jab, I thought, you know what, let's drive up to the recovery place. So we drove up to the recovery place, spoke to the reception, they told us to go to another place. We went there, and I said, have you got a BMW 1 Series in red? They said, oh yeah, we have. And I said, oh, would you mind, can I go have a look at it? Because I haven't seen it in daylight. And they said, sorry, we can't let you in, but we can take photos of it. So they took my phone, and these are the photos they took. Now they're really, really nice, and I said to them, like, from your personal opinion, I know you're recovery, you're not a mechanic or anything like that, but do you think this will be a write-off? And he went, yeah, straight away. All my friends said that. My mum and dad said that, but the insurance didn't say that. So this is where it then goes. So that same day, but in the afternoon, I went home and I reported the incident, because you have to report within 48 hours or something. So I called them up. I was on the phone for an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours, getting all the information, speaking to 3 different companies, getting pushed forward to other companies and stuff like that. They were really good, I must admit, they were really, really good. They wanted a description of the damage, and I gave them all the description. They were like, okay, by our auto-generative, program, it says it's repairable. And I was like, wait until you see it. Yeah, as you can see on the photos and stuff, the damage is pretty bad, because obviously it hit the back as well into the other car. But I must have probably had about 30 phone calls, 20, 30 phone calls, a lot of phone calls, bear in mind, getting transferred to other companies, because in the end there's 3 companies dealing with my case. But anyway, all 3 of them were, they're really good, and I was kind of worried about the whole payout, because I've never had a crash before. I didn't know what I was going to get. I literally didn't know what to expect, so, I was just being a bit cautious, if you know what I mean. Luckily, I did have a spare car to kind of drive around in the time being, but they also did give me a hire car, which was a Seat Cupra 290, I think it was, that one. But it was alright car, to be fair. It was just a bit boring. I think it was because it's standard and it's got the new filters and stuff like that, but it was just a bit boring. But I'm glad I had it. But yeah, a bit boring. So anyway, about 3 weeks passed, 2 or 3 weeks passed, and they said, yep, okay, your car is a write-off. It basically went from the recovery place to the garage, and then they had a look at it for a few weeks and said, yep, it's going to be a write-off. And I was like, oh, right, okay. And they said, we'll be in touch shortly with a payout, kind of how much you're going to get. So then I had to be transferred to another team, and then honestly, it was weeks and weeks and weeks. So it's about 6-7 weeks now, and I've only really just got the payout. So that's kind of how long it's taken. But apparently that's about right for insurance, but I kind of wanted to get paid out within a week or something. But because that is exactly what my mate did. He recently had an accident, sadly, with his BMW 3 Series, and his just got written off, and he had the payment within a week or something. It was ridiculously quick. So I'm realising I'm missing quite a lot of things, so do bear with me. I'm hoping you're still watching. If you are, make sure you leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe. So before we continue with the video, I just want to give a massive shout out to Cartoon My Ride for sending me this awesome picture of the 140. Now they actually sent me this before it got crashed, but I'm kind of using this as a final piece, sort of show the project. And yeah, what a stunning job. And also, he printed and framed it all. This is how it came in the post. But yeah, I sent him a picture and just look how good that is. And this is the same company who also did this one for my old car, so hopefully when I get the new car we'll get one of that as well. So yeah, massive shout out to them. I'll leave all links and stuff in the description, and if I've got a discount code, I'll leave that in the description as well. But if not, just mention you've come from me and I'm sure they'll sort you out. But look how cool that is. I then called the garage that had my car. Once I knew it was a write-off, I called the garage. I was like, can I come and collect the parts off it? Because I have a few little parts on there, like personal belongings and parts I want to remove. And they said, yeah, sure, come on up. So I went up within, I think, the same day. And I was like, yeah, I'm here to collect the parts from my car. And they're like, all right. They didn't even, I was like, oh, can I have the key, please? Because they took it, and they were like, oh, it's already unlocked. They didn't even check who I was or what. But anyway, luckily I wasn't like, you know, anyone random. But yeah, I took all the parts off. Luckily a mate came up and helped me with that. We took the exhaust tips off. We took some more of the carbon stuff. We put some of the original back in because I didn't need it. We took a few other little bits, and basically I then brought it all home and sold it all. I've sold all the carbon, I've sold everything, and I actually had like a load of brakes to part it. Luckily the company's allowed me to return those, so I got about 1,500 quid back in just parts, which, you know, I was pretty happy about, and that's going to go towards my next car. So I was pretty happy that the car was written off. I'm going to get my payout, and also I've sold my parts. Now, you might be wondering why I was happy to get it written off. The reason for that is because imagine you got a pride and joy and someone just smacks into it, yeah? Quite a lot of damage. That car is never ever going to be 100% how that came out factory or how you left it. I'm sorry, you'll end up having teething issues, like small little problems down the line. It just won't ever feel like the same car, and I don't know, I just couldn't do it to myself. I really didn't want it repaired, and if it was going to be repaired, I would have just sold it straight away. But anyway, it did get written off, and I had a payout of a very decent amount, more than I paid for the car, which was, you know, pleasant because of all the hassle that, you know, it caused. So, you know, that was nice. So, another thing I must have mentioned, the lady came the next day to my partner's house. Was it the next day or the next day after that? I can't remember. And asked about her cat. Bear in mind, I was a little bit annoyed with her because she never even said sorry to me. Everyone stated to her that this guy really loves this car, you know, and she didn't even come up to me once. Apparently she spoke to my parents or her parents or whatever, or my partner's parents, but she didn't physically come up to me and say, you know what, I'm sorry. But as my dad said, it's probably because she felt a bit embarrassed that she's just driven down a road and just hit a parked car with no, you know what I mean? The only way she physically would have done that is if she was distracted. So that's what makes me fuming, because I'm like, just concentrate on the road. She did put a Facebook post up as well to say, has anyone found my car? I've been in an accident, and one of my mates sent me that, and I found it on like one of the local marketplace sites. But yeah, she did eventually find it about a week later. So, you know, that's positive news, but just shocking, isn't it? Like, when you just put so much effort into something, it just overnight someone just goes bang, that's it, it's gone, you know, and you've got like a month out of car, if not 2 months. So much hassle, and almost as if I'm a little bit worse off than I should be, but it's kind of worked out a little bit better than I thought, which has been nice. That's kind of a little bit about it. I'm hoping I've gone through everything. I don't think I have. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that I've missed. So I just had a look at my notes, and it does look like I've gone through everything, which is good. But this is now leaving me in a bit of a predicament. I love that 140. I really love 140s. For some reason I'm a little bit like gay for them a bit. Like, I don't know, I like them cars, they're nice. They're only a 1 series, but you know, they're nice cars. And the thing is with that, I had so many plans of it. I was nowhere near finished with it. Not at all, nowhere near. I wanted to make it a proper nice looking car, and then just, you know, someone just goes and smashes it up. So anyway, I've now got the money come through, yeah? What car would you like to see on the channel? I've got something pretty cool in mind, and it's not a car that many people my age have got or have had. Not necessarily because they can't afford it, it's just because a car that 20-year-olds just don't buy. Like, they just don't buy these cars. Not really. But anyway, let me know kind of what car you would like to see on the channel, and think about content as well. What car would you want to see? I think it's gonna have to be BMW, because or else I'll lose a lot of my followers, and also I love BMW, I'm sorry. I haven't really given another company a chance, but I've just never really been interested in even looking at them. Leave me some suggestions down below in the comments, and also leave me if you've had any sort of similar incidents like this before. Leave me those, you know, let me know kind of what happened in the comment section as well. And yeah, sorry to have to bring you this video. I don't seem that upset here, but trust me, at the time I was so upset for about a week. I barely talked. I was really upset. This is where we're gonna have to end this. I was gonna make a part 2, but I don't think I need to. But yeah, I hopefully enjoyed the video. You probably haven't, because you guys like the car as well. But I guess the next time I see you guys is with the new car, I suppose, whatever I get. So yeah, make sure you leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon in a brand new video. I must also mention anything I've missed, I'll put in the comment section down below.